Case of legitimacy between the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party and the Rivers State government continues as the acting national chairman of the party, Ambassador Illya Damagum, and the national secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, have again written a fresh letter to the Court of Appeal urging the appellate court that the party is not a party to all legal issues in the court. This is the second time that the duo of Damagum and Anyanwu will write such a letter. The first letter was addressed to the Chief Registrar of the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, directing that the PDP is not part of the proceedings at the Port Harcourt High Court. In the second letter, signed by Damagum and Anyanwu to the Court of Appeal, hearing the consolidated appeals on Rivers State Legislature and the local government elections, the PDP urged the appeal court to strike out the consolidated appeal as the national secretariat of the party, which they represent, did not authorize the legal proceedings. Damagum and Anyanwu said that in line with the PDP constitution, no legal proceedings that concerns the party is valid without the approval of the national leadership. Etienne gathered that the cases included an appeal the Rivers State government filed to stay the execution of the judgment that mandated Governor Siminalayi Fubara to represent the 2024 budget proposal to the pro-Wike faction of the State Assembly led by Honorable Martin Amehule, as well as an appeal the Action People's Party filed to declare seats of the lawmakers vacant over their alleged defection to the APC. Equally listed for hearing was an appeal marked CA/1159/2024, which was filed by the People's Democratic Party. However, on Thursday, when the matter was called up, two lawyers, Mr. B.F. Foluronsho and Mr. J.Y. Musa, separately announced their appearances for the PDP, while Musa S.A.N. told the appellate court that he was mandated by the party to withdraw the appeal. Foluronsho said told the court that no such directive came from the party. Following the controversy, the three-man special panel led by Justice Oyekachi Otisi acknowledged that it got a letter from the PDP indicating that it did not authorize the appeal. The panel added that the PDP in its letter to the court was signed by its acting national chairman and secretary, applied to discontinue the case. Consequently, it queried the two lawyers about how they were briefed to appear in the matter, whereas Musa S.A.N. maintained that he was briefed by the Alhaji Umar Damagum-led executives. Foluronsho said he was duly assigned the case by the national legal advisor of the party, whom he said had the authority to handle all legal matters involving the party. Both lawyers claimed they got hearing notices to appear for the appeals. In view of the development, the appellate court panel ordered the two lawyers to go back to the PDP and sort out the issue. The court says the issue of which counsel that has been briefed should be clarified by the 29th respondent and the court notified. This is not an issue this court can delve into at this time, Justice Otisi held, as he adjourned some of the appeals to January 23, 2025. Let me start with you, Bernard Odike. What do you make of this drama playing out right now? And then the PDP national writing to the court to discontinue the appeal.
Well, the issue is not far-fetched. These are gimmicks of power play. You know, they are not unexpected. Everyone expected that all this would play out, knowing too well that the characters in question, the national chairman of the acting national chairman of the PDP, Damagum, and the national secretary, Senator Sam Anyanwu, you know, who every right-thinking person in this country have come to understand that they are like answerable to somebody who they would always do his bidding, you know, and based on that, it's not surprising. It's a power play.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, we hope to see a fair judicial system that should be able to, you know, correct what is wrong and uphold what is just, fair, and equitable.
Now, the question would be, does the National Legal Advisor, yes, he is the National Legal Advisor and handles all legal matters concerning the party, but then the National Legal Advisor, in his capacity to act, will also get approval from the national chairman, yes?
Yeah, you know, when this present leadership, national leadership of the party was elected in a national convention, though Damagum was not elected as the national chairman, but I think deputy national chairman not, or national vice chairman not. And because of the crisis that had rocked the party, leading to the removal of the national chairman, then Ayo, Damagum stepped in according to the provisions of the constitution of the People's Democratic Party, and he's acting. Now, the National Convention, I believe, is, and I know is, the highest decision-making body of the party.
Okay.
That was the body that elected all of them. And if you go to the constitution of the People's Democratic Party, the duties or functions of each of these officers are clearly stated. The Damagum of a man or Samuel Anyanwu are not the ones that decides the roles and the duties of other officers. The convention or the PDP as a whole, with the National Convention as the highest decision-making body, empowered each and every one of them to function according to the duties assigned to them as enshrined in the constitution of the party. And as it's clearly stated in the constitution of the PDP, it is the duty of the National Legal Advisor to give representation and handle legal issues as it affects the party. So that's what it ought to be, and we believe and hope that justice is done, you know, at the end of the day.
All right. Okay. George, what do you make of the story? And then secondly, the same question I asked Bernard, I will still ask you. Does the National Legal Advisor, even though it is his, within his rights as stipulated by the constitution of the party, to act on all legal matters of the party, but should he act without the approval of the National Secretariat?
Well, let me start with, thank you very much. Let me start with the question that you posed. Hierarchically, one is bigger than the other. And anything that has to do with the party, the People's Democratic Party, it is the chairman that takes the final decision when it comes to issues like this. Yes, the National Legal Advisor is there, but the chairman carries the party on his shoulder. He's responsible for activities of the party. If the chairman, in his wisdom, and the second officer, which is the secretary, has come to say, our party is not interested in this case, at that point, I don't think the National Legal Advisor should run at cross-purpose with the chairman. They are all officers, but among these officers, there are some that are bigger than some. The Constitution clearly stipulates that. So if the party, the soul of the party, which is the chairman, whether acting or not, he is the chairman, and the secretary of the party have come to say, we are not interested in this matter, then I don't think the court will want to do otherwise. There is hierarchy in every organization, even here that you're working. You might have your position, you're in charge of this and that, but there's someone that you report to. And if the person comes to say any matter affecting our company, we are withdrawing, we are not interested, despite the fact that it is your office that particular issue falls on. The man that is in charge of the office or the company have come to say, we are no longer interested. You can no go otherwise. That is on the question. But again, let me say, my brother here said it's part of the political gimmick. I agree with him. Well, you know, when this finger is pointing, look at the other finger also. Who briefed the National Legal Advisor? Probably is working with the governor of Rivers State and his cohorts.
You're making an allegation.
No, he also alleged that
he did not make any allegation. He just said it's political game.
Okay, fine.
But you have narrowed your own down.
No. We are saying the same thing. He is representing the interests of the governor. And that is also exactly what played out in the court. Laurentia was representing those that have the interest of the governor of Rivers State.
Being the legal advisor,
yes,
is working, according to you, the legal advisor
is working in tandem with the governor of Rivers State. That is what, you know, it's obvious. It's obvious because...
No, let me correct an impression, sorry. Let me correct an impression. Okay. The governor of Rivers State is a member of the People's Democratic Party. And the legal advisor is also a member of the PDP and represents the interests of the party. So what we're talking about is the interests of the People's Democratic Party. Now, don't try to reduce it to the interest of the governor of Rivers State. What is happening is a power play at that level.
The matter in court is Rivers State matter.
Hold on, you still have your say.
The Rivers State government today is led by a PDP governor, a man elected under the umbrella of the PDP. So PDP National only functions by virtue of the other chapters of the party across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. So whatever the national officers are doing there should be to protect the interests of the party at every chapter, cumulatively, you know, in all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. And the legal advisor is only playing his role based on the power vested on him. Now, like I said, the only way, or the way I feel, by my own thinking as a layman, is that when the judges will adjudicate on the matter, they will narrow it down to the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? Because individuals who are going out of the Constitution are just doing their personal bidding. They will look at what does the Constitution say. Where has the Constitution brought the national chairman and the secretary to now have the power to overrule the legal advisor from carrying out his function as an officer like each and every one of them? Do you get? So that's why I look at it. Like I made my opinion recently. I said, whatever the outcome at the end of the day, a precedence is set. Somebody might be enjoying the outcome. Let's assume that it goes the other way and it favors somebody today. Tomorrow, you might be in the receiving end. Do you get me?
All right.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Look, justice is not only when it is done in your favor. Even when it is done against you, tomorrow it could turn around and be in your favor.
Very well.
Lawrence, let me add something.
This is your floor. You have the floor. But he said he needed to interject to say something. So I needed to marry that to what you have said before you go on. So Bernard, at the end of the day, it still boils down to what he said when he said that the national advisor, or would I say when he alleged that the national advisor is working for the Rivers State governor. You have said that the national advisor at the national, his job is to protect or work for the interests of the party across the 36 states, including the FCT. So probably at this point in time, since you are aligning with George's standpoints, George, you can continue what you're saying.
Okay, what I'm trying to say in essence is this. When it comes to politics and the law, emotion does not count. Okay. It doesn't matter who it favors now or who it doesn't favor. The truth about the matter is that the national chairman of the party is the soul of the party. Okay. Sometimes some case may batter the soul of them, may batter the image of the party. With that wisdom, the party chairman may decide to say, okay, we will discontinue this matter to save whatever, whatever face we have as a political party. If we continue like this, we will bloody ourselves before the court and before Nigerians. That is where discretion comes in. So I don't think in my own layman understanding that the judges will overwrite the position of the national chairman, a letter duly signed by the national chairman, and that of the secretary for the legal advisor. There is hierarchy in every organization. It's as simple as that.
Now,
this is just common sense.
If I have an understanding of how unionism and organization works, particularly in situations like this, there are three principal officers. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. Then that is the chairman, the secretary, and the treasurer, correct?
Okay.
I understand that even in NLC, and TUC and all that. They have 3 principal officers.
Okay.
The chairman, secretary, and the treasurer.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't in any way reduce the other positions, but there are principal officers, and they are also the people that are signatory. And they are the ones, when you usually see letters from these organizations, it's either the chairman, it's usually either the chairman signs or the secretary signs, or the chairman and the secretary
And for account, for maintaining of accounts.
Even in correspondences
That
as
is
well.
that is clearly the position.
When he brought in treasurer, that I'm trying to say that.
Okay.
When it
Yeah.
to do with,
When it comes to account, yeah, the treasurer is involved as well. So now, narrowing down to the issue about who, in this instance, has the right to send a lawyer, in this instance, to represent the PDP national.
It still boils down to what I was saying.
Hold on. Now, there are 2 issues on ground in this matter. One is that the national has written to the court to discontinue all appeals. And that letter was signed by the national chairman and the national secretary. However, the national legal advisor also sent someone to represent the PDP at the appeal court. And on the other hand, the national secretariat sent another lawyer. Now, that is, while that signifies or is a pointer to the fact that PDP at the national level is balkanized right now, and the 2 factions are serving different interests. Bernard, do you agree with me on that? They are serving different interests. It boils down to, yes, the legal advisor has the right to send a legal representative. But who has the right in this instance to write to the court to discontinue the appeal?
Like I said ab initio, the constitution of the PDP will define all that.
Yeah, right.
For instance, like my younger brother, George Azunda, is my younger brother. George Azunda said, he talked about the soul of the party. The national chairman, you call him the soul of the party, but we have seen national chairman of the party being removed, the so-called soul of the party, and the party didn't die.
But in this instance, it's not removed, is it?
I'm coming.
George, why are you laughing?
No, I'm coming. I'm coming because when you take away the soul of an entity,
it's supposed to die.
That entity is supposed to die.
But in this instance,
even when that so-called soul is removed, the entity is still existing. So what it means is that what my brother calls soul of the party is not actually, does not really have the overbearing, significance in what we're talking about. The constitution of the People's Democratic Party is where the judges will look into to see if there is anywhere.
Do you belong to a political party, Bernard?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a member of the People's Democratic Party.
You're a member of the
We're
PDP.
talking about my party.
Okay, third question to you, George. Bernard. Can the legal advisor act without the approval of the secretariat? Or can the national legal advisor act without the approval of the national secretariat? Let me still bring it down to Rivers State. Can the state legal advisor act without the approval of the state secretariat?
Now, these are issues subject to decision of the apex court. Remember,
I didn't ask you a question with regards to the decision of the apex court.
I asked you
a question with regards to what's obtainable in your party.
I want to answer it because there had been a prior judgment in a matter
where 2 legal representatives came.
Not even not 2 legal representatives. Where a court ruled that a lower court ruled that the state legal advisor could actually put up a representation.
That was the 2 regret when in the same PDP matter.
Okay.
The national sent a legal representative and the state sent a legal.
Okay, that's one you're talking about. You're still talking about this one.
No, a different one.
So that matter is yet to be tested at up to the apex court level.
Okay.
Until the apex court decides on that.
What does your constitution say?
What it is that...
Now, I'm not asking you what the court says.
No. I'm trying to say what the constitution says. The position of the
PDP constitution.
The PDP constitution is very clear. The trustees and the trustees of the party are at the national level. And they are the ones, empowered to put up any form of legal representation for the party For instance, you know, in submitting names of candidates at the state level to INEC, it has to do with the national. Are you understanding me? So that's what it is. So for now, I think that being that the legal advisor in the state should also perform certain duties, but he cannot perform those duties in isolation from the national legal advisor. It's a case of, okay, there's an issue in Rivers State.
But that's not the question I asked.
I'm just trying to answer your question.
You're not answering it yet, and time is going.
No. The issue there is to talk about
let me still ask you that question again. Can the National Legal Advisor act without approval from the National Secretariat? Can the National Legal Advisor act in isolation without approval from the National Secretariat?
Yeah, like I said, I have answered this question earlier when I spoke. And I said that when they were all elected, based on the provisions of the Constitution, their duties, their functions as officers were clearly spelled out.
Right.
So the legal advisor is only exercising his, his authority as given to him by the Constitution. And the Constitution is superior to even the national chairman or any other person in that matter.
Right.
And the national chairman does not also work in isolation. We have not even come to the other nitty-gritty of the matter of asking. Before the national chairman and the secretary wrote letter to court asking that they should discontinue, you begin to wonder how funny it is. You know, let's even look at it from the other.
No, I don't want us to deflect. We'll still come to that.
Okay, fine. Now,
we're taking it one by one.
Good. Now, before they even wrote the letter to the court to discontinue the matter, did they call for an ESCO meeting?
We'll come to that, like I said.
You know, so that this is
I wanted
okay.
a clear answer to.
Okay, I have answered you. The legal advisor has the right to put up
without approval from the National Secretary.
Yes, because the Constitution says it. Look, I have served as a councillor, and in the laws and also the rules of the House, I served as a deputy leader of the House. Now, in the functions of the deputy leader, for instance, if you talk about one of the rules there, or the first rule is that the leader of the House, can decide to delegate responsibility to me without recourse to other members. He doesn't need to explain to them. Understand why he is asking me to stand in for him. Number two, the rule says that in his absence, automatically the deputy leader should act. So even when the leader is trying to be funny, the deputy leader can step in in his absence and act, and it is allowed. So the rules or the Constitution is self-executory.
All right. So
at that point,
if I get you clearly, you're saying the National Legal Advisor can act without approval from the Secretariat.
The Constitution empowers him. The Constitution empowers him to do his work.
Okay, now you're talking about separation of powers, and if going by what you've just said, if that was the Constitution, so it means that the National Treasurer can withdraw money without the approval of the National Secretariat.
No,
and the National PRO can hold on. And the Constitution cannot be turning upside down. Well, hold on. And the National PRO can release a communique without the approval of the National Secretariat because they can all work independent of each other.
It depends on the issue in question.
All right, very well.
It depends on the issue in question. For instance, the National Publicity Secretary, depending on the urgency of matter, sometimes could issue statements
without the approval of the National Secretariat.
It's possible that happens.
The Treasurer can withdraw money without the approval of...
No bank will even no bank can approve that without the signature of the other signatories who are supposed to sign alongside. So that
so which means that to a large extent there must be check and balances at all.
That's what it is.
All right, very well. But it appears the National Advisor in this instance is insulated from these checks and balances, from what you have explained. But let me hear from George. George, before we move on to the next story, what is your final submission on this one? And I will still ask you the same question. Can the National Advisor act in isolation? Can he act without approval from the National Secretariat?
I have said it here repeatedly, that none of those officers can act in isolation. None. Without the approval of the chairman. I said something here that the chairman is the soul of the party. And my brother here is my other brother. The chairman is the soul of the party. He's the face and the soul of the party. My other brother here disagreed with me. What I meant by that is that for the number of years that he's acting, or he's the chairman, he is the face and leader of the party. We are talking about democracy. He will not be there forever. The day his tenure elapses, the new chairman takes over and becomes the soul of the party. So that is exactly what I meant by that. Right. Now, none of these officers can act in isolation. None. Sorry, sir. Let me exhaust.
Go ahead, Judge.
You asked him if the PRO can issue a communique
or press release.
Or press release outside the chairman, and he was trying to ask him. I laughed. How possible is that? No matter the urgency of the matter, who signs that? Can the PRO sign? Who signs that? You are releasing a press release or a communique bordering on a particular agency or an institution that is headed by someone. An institution, is a legal entity that can be sued and can also sue. Now you are acting outside the chairman or the leader of the institution to sign because you feel that you have a responsibility. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that. Sorry, sir, Bernard.
Hold on.
It doesn't work that way. We like he said, one thing I liked from what he said here is that this whole matter will be tested at the court. I have always said that in my discussions with you in all our politics. I strongly believe in the judiciary as one of the arms of government. Their role is to interpret the laws, because it is envisaged that people, 2 persons or more, would definitely have issues. So the only way to resolving that matter is when the judiciary steps in. They have the final say, and the judiciary will have from lower court to the apex court. So for him not to resort to self-help, I commend him for that. Let the judiciary, who knows that whatever decision they take will be referenced tomorrow, take the final decision on the matter.
All right. Very well. Bernard raised a very salient point when he was talking about the soul of the party and leadership. He said that now, while the focus is on the National Legal Advisor, let's also periscope Damagum and Anyanwu, the national chairman and the national secretary, for a minute. They wrote to the appeal court, and this is the second time they are writing to the appeal court to discontinue all appeals, APC, PDP is involved in. Now, Bernard asked the question or raised the concern that is extremely salient, and he said, did they at any point in time convene a meeting? Did they at any point in time convene a meeting, or the chairman and secretary will just sit down and choose to write to the courts and tell them to withdraw all appeals? The entire PDP national, are they in agreement with this decision?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I cannot exactly say if a meeting was held. My brother here also said that the constitution is self-executory. He gave an instance of when he was the deputy leader of Amoha local government area, legislative assembly, where in the absence of the leader, the deputy leader automatically steps in. That also the leader does not need to consult even maybe 1/3 or 2/3 or the entire house to delegate responsibility to him. He can decide to call him on phone, Mr. Bernard, I will not be available. Please, you take charge. He said it. So if the chairman feels that it is expedient, the chairman and the secretary feels that it is expedient, there was no time to call for such a national meeting to agree whether to continue or discontinue with the case. And you just said something here, I'm following.
Judge, don't be mischievous. No. Wait. Let me correct the impression.
Okay, go ahead.
I say that this is something that's already written as a rule. Now, in the constitution of the PDP, there is no such provision where the chairman will just stand up and begin to take
veto decisions.
Okay. There's no such thing. So,
I will not completely agree with my brother here that there's no such thing.
The point I made here is
veto power.
No, the point I made here, they're referring to the legislative council or wherever, or any of the legislature, is that this is what is written as a rule.
And it must apply.
And should apply. That's like self-executory.
Right.
Like I said, the Constitution is where the judges will look into.
All right, very well.
Sorry, before you leave, in the case of emergency, what happens to the veto power of the chairman? In the case of an emergency?
What's the emergency?
No, I'm just saying, I'm asking.
Discontinuing a matter.
No, the matter, if the chairman has sat down to see that this thing will batter the image of our party, we do not need this at this point.
Asking the court to discontinue a matter against the interest of the party.
What is the
urgency in asking court to discontinue a matter?
The matter is between the party versus the party.
That is in the interest of the party. No, oh bros.
It is the matter before the court is PDP versus PDP. It is not PDP versus APC. So when you say for the interest of the party,
like you said earlier on that you said that what you said earlier on that what the legal advisor is pushing for is to protect the interest of the governor of Rivers
State. Of course, it's obvious.
I'm coming. The governor of Rivers State is a PDP governor.
Okay.
Now, should the national body not work to protect the interest of their own?
What happens to the state assembly people? Are they of APC?
What happened to them?
I'm asking you.
We're not going into that. If we want to go into that, then we will treat it. But let's not go there because we have a case of where, young men and women who were elected by their people decided to understand. They decided to say they have defected, and right there at the hallowed chamber, a sacred place, where they decide to make laws and maybe represent the entire constituencies in the state, read letters of their defection, and even went as far as going to court to swear to an affidavit to uphold that. They moved from PDP to APC. How does that protect the interest of the PDP?
What constitutes defection?
No.
Okay.
No, George, let's not go
there. By hoisting flag or by making pronouncement.
All right.
I just told you.
No proper documentation. Is that what you call it?
Did I call it hosting flag?
Gentlemen.
Did I talk about hosting
flag? So what are you talking about?
You what constitutes
defection?
Hold on, because to a large extent, I've had an APC chieftain who is actually in the State Executive Council on the side of Tony Okocha on my show. And he said that he's private to the party register. These persons are not in the party register.
There's no evidence.
No, we're coming.
So now, isn't that
let me also shock you.
Gentlemen, hold on.
Any man on the side of Tony Okocha could come here and say that because they are walking peri passu. Now listen, this man.
But they defected. Hold on. They allegedly defected.
I'm coming. When they did that defection, were they out of the? Were they on sound mind? Because we also saw the same people after Martin Amehuli, my brother Martin Amehuli. You know, he's my classmate. He's also my mate in secondary school. Martin Amehuli, who I know used to be a very sound mind, an intelligent young man. Now I'm coming of sound mind.
No, you say used to.
No, he used to be now, because what George is trying to say is that maybe they were not of sound mind when they did what they did. Because I'm coming. Because that's his interpretation. That's implication.
You are the one.
We're just trying to reply. Martin, we saw him when Martin came in the hallowed chamber of the River State House of Assembly. Openly declared and read letters of defection of each of the members, about 27 of them, to the public. And thereafter, we also saw when a representative of the national leadership of APC came to Polo Club, they all mounted the rostrum there and also declared their defection. I'm coming. Let's forget about all these other stories we are saying. We want to just deal on the issue of soundness of mind and unsoundness of mind. So if when they did all this, now they are turning around to say that they were not of sound mind, let them present themselves to psychiatric hospital to recheck them.
All right, very well.
Are you following me? This man defected against the interest of the PDP.
All right.
And the national leadership of the PDP, led by Damagum and Samuel Anyanwu and all the rest of them, feel that they feel the issue there is that it is in the interest of the party that they should act. But these men are acting contrary to the interest of the party.
All right, very